Como quiera soy amigo y también mexicano, mexicano hasta el tope.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Chismosas Sin Filtro. I'm Laura.
And I'm Sam, and this is Laura's sister, Rosa.
Hi guys,
Thank you for joining us.
thanks for having me.
So I know a lot of you have, if you follow us on social media, you guys probably have heard of my sister's story. And we wanted to bring her on tonight just so she can tell her story to you guys to bring an awareness of what's
How
going
fucked
on.
up the system is.
True. Of how crazy this world has become. First, we're just going to have her introduce herself, tell us a little bit about her, and then we'll go right into it. So,
Go ahead.
Well, hi guys, my name is Rosa, and I'm a single mom.
what are you? Tell us about you. What are you doing? What?
Okay, it's okay. All right, Rosa, how old are you?
I am 39.
She's like, why you gotta put me on the spot?
I'm like, how old am I again?
Okay, and your son, how old is he?
My son is 24, and I'm also a grandma.
She's a grandma.
No, I'm a grandma.
Get it right.
Get it right.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not that old bitch.
I see it. I see it.
See it. What do you like to do, Rosa?
Then
No, she doesn't like to do shit, guys.
I
All
don't.
she likes to do is sleep.
fuck that though. I don't be out like my sister. I be at home.
I be bopping in, weaving in. She's already a certified bopper. So
This bitch.
She's like,
Ex-certified.
I know. So I guess like we should make clear first, like you had your green card, right?
I did. I had my green card. I actually got my papers through my dad.
Okay.
He put in for my mom, my younger brother, and my two older siblings to get our papers. But my two older brother and sister were not able to get citizenship with my dad because by the time that we received it, they already were too old. They were older than 21.
So were they brought here
They were-
with that mindset that they were going to get it?
No, we were just brought here,
Okay.
and
my dad used to work here. And
Yeah.
They lived in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was 3 of you.
it was four of us, four
Okay.
plus my mom. Five.
Okay.
And so I ended up getting my green card in 2006. Had it for this whole time. But then in 2014, I ended up getting a drug charges. So a lot of people don't know that when you get any type of criminal charges, you kind of could end up losing your green card.
Right. Of course.
And not a lot of people know. So that's what kind of happened to me. It was that I got charges, and that basically put me in a blacklist to if I ever went out of the country. When I came back, they were basically would put me in deportation proceedings.
But you had traveled before this.
I
is
had
that
traveled
right?
before this, but I guess from what I was told, they didn't do their job correctly when I came back in. Even though they sent me the secondary inspection, they didn't do a thorough check.
But keep in mind, when 2014, when she got her charge, she never traveled since
Yes.
2014 till we went out in 2023. Because she was scared to renew her green card at that time.
Correct. I was scared to renew my green card because I actually had spoken to numerous attorneys, and they had told me back when the last Trump administration, they had told me that if I submitted my my renewal for my green card, that I was going to automatically be put in deportation proceedings. So I spoke to different attorneys, and they all told me the same thing. So I kind of just left it at it as it was. Didn't renew my green card, but that didn't mean that I didn't have a green card. I did. it was just expired.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't travel for those what? 9 years.
8 years.
Mhm.
8 years.
Didn't travel, and then finally, I, made up my mind that I needed to get my shit together.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a different attorney, and she told me that she would be able to help me renew my green card, and that's when I got it renewed, got it back.
So what year did you get it back?
So I actually renewed it in 2022.
And it was a quick process.
It was a quick process.
We honestly didn't think it was gonna get like.
Accepted that quick.
Yeah, literally, it was like she put it in. Like within weeks, she got sent to go get her weigh-outs done, and like what? Not even a month later, you received your green card.
Yeah, but it was a total of like 2 months
Okay.
that I basically was able to get my green card back.
But keep in mind, I don't. She says she doesn't remember. The lawyer told her she couldn't travel outside of the country, so she pretty much got her green card.
And you thought you were golden.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you were traveling.
I was traveling.
Yeah, we went to. So you got your green card what? December?
I am November.
No, you
No,
did your
it
way
is
as in
December.
November. She did her way as in November. December, she got her green card. So we went to Mexico in March, and we went for 2 weeks. And like she said, she went through secondary inspection, todo.
But when we came back, we actually had a layover in Houston, so that's where I was sent to secondary revision, in Houston,
Yeah.
and they took me back. They checked everything, and
I told you were good.
yeah.
So do you feel like back when you went, obviously Trump wasn't in office.
Right.
So do you feel like him coming into office made them like flag you in a way?
Yes, in a way, yeah, because well, not so much flag me, but put me in deportation proceedings.
Right. Yeah.
Because either way, it was just a matter of time for me to be flagged, since I was already put in a blacklist because of my charges. Because basically, the type of charges that I had, they were drug charges, and according to Homeland Security, those are charges of moral turpitude. They do not basically pardon.
Right.
Um,
Obviously they do if you're here.
It was a struggle.
Thank
Thank God, literally.
But yeah, so basically any other time what they would have done was just sent me to go see an immigration judge, and basically do what I did, but without being placed in deportation proceedings and having to be locked up.
Which was shitty because when she had her appointment to take all the documents that she needed to take, the day before, was when they called her to change her appointment for the following week,
I
which was
remember
when
you-
Trump was supposed to go in office Monday, and that Wednesday was when she had her appointment.
And that's what I would tell Laura. Like I guess we'll go more into it like as we go on, but I feel like him going into office like is what like implemented all these new laws that
And
got
they told
people in
us.
that.
Yeah.
They straight up told us, the immigration officers told us, because they didn't even know.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do with me because it's not like I had an active case.
Right.
And
And that's what's weird to me because
Yeah.
you had already
I had
been
already
through the whole process.
I had already basically when I got my charges, I had pled. I did
Paid her dues and everything.
paid my fines, did everything that was required of me. So it was closed. My case had been closed for 10 years. So when CBP had asked me to come back and bring the paperwork for my charges, they basically, when I showed up, they didn't know what to do with me.
That's why we were there for 4 hours, literally. And I would ask, I kid you not, dude, every like hour I'd be like, hey, like my sister's been back there, like she's been back there for a couple hours, like can you guys give us an update? They're like, we can't give you anything, you just gotta wait until somebody comes out and tells you. And mind you, she can't be on her phone,
Yeah.
so it's not like we could text her and be like, what's the update? Like nothing. Like literally we were in the freaking airport from like what, 3:34 till like 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
waiting just for them to freaking come and tell us. And they didn't know what to do with her.
Yeah, they didn't know. They actually had to call the UCIS, the Homeland Security
Yeah.
headquarters in San Francisco, to ask exactly what they wanted to do with me.
Oh wow.
Yep.
So I guess like going back to when you came back into the country and they were telling you these things, like what were your thoughts?
As soon as they asked me, I kind of already figured that
That's where they were going.
they were going. Yes, because when once the CBP agent asked me if I had ever been arrested or had any charges, I said yeah, and I knew that when you come in through the airport and they do the face recognition,
Yeah.
they pull out
Everything.
your whole
Right.
file.
Yeah.
So they should know. And so I did ask the agent, I'm like, shouldn't it show up? She's
Right.
like, yeah, it does show up, but it doesn't say what it's for.
Yeah. And I feel like they ask you to test you, like, are you gonna lie to us?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because she even asked me, do you have your paperwork with you? I was like, I didn't know I had to. Like, my case has been closed for 10 years. I didn't know I had to have my paperwork with me.
And at that point, your lawyer never told you, hey, you can't leave the country.
Until she called her and
Yeah.
told her.
Until I called my attorney and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. And she's like, yeah, do you remember? I was like, no, I do not remember that conversation.
I feel like that's something you would definitely
Yes.
remember. Like, that's
Yeah.
such a big conversation to have.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I told you that you would be able to continue renewing your green card, but you could never leave the country.
So
At that point, it's like, why have a green card?
Well,
just
no,
to work,
and
and then
it's
just give me
like,
a work
At
permit.
that point, she probably didn't even say that. She just wanted your money and was like, okay, pues ahorita, pues arreglo y ya, like, que se las averigüe, without telling her the truth, basically.
And I know I feel like a lot of lawyers do that. Like
Yeah.
they just
Yeah, because
Right.
I actually never met up with her in person.
Wow.
It was all over email, over calls, and never really got to personally meet her. So
So there was nothing there, basically.
yeah.
Oh, wow. So, like, I guess after they tell you, like, where's your paperwork? Like, obviously you had to wait, what, like 2 weeks?
They had actually given me a whole month to come back.
Oh, okay.
Come back to the airport and show them my court dockets with my charges. And when I showed up, they had already pulled everything up because they had a
Yeah.
file this thick with all my information and everything.
They just
and,
wanted to see if you brought it.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as I showed up and I seen they had my file and they took me back where they had initially asked me all the questions, I kind of already knew before I had gone to this appointment with the CBP, I had already gone to see an attorney, and it was an immigration and deportation attorney that I went to go see. And I kind of gave him a little rundown of what was going on, and he did tell me, he's like, they usually don't detain you, but there is a possibility that you will be detained, so be prepared.
So basically, like, pre-Trump, they probably would have let you go home until
Yes.
they deported you.
Yes, so they would have let me go home, gave me my appointment to go see the judge, plead my case, find my case from the outside.
Right. Instead of keeping you detained.
Instead of
But I feel like she was just so in denial about it because obviously, and that was what would piss me the fuck off about her because I'd be like, Rosa, like you really like she waited till that's the thing with Rosa, she waits till the last minute to get shit done. She literally called the lawyer a week, right? Not even a week. In that week that she had to go to take her paperwork is when she called the lawyer. I'm like, girl, you need to like. I think maybe it was not like in denial. I think she just didn't. Like,
When's your birthday?
the same day as
Yeah.
yours. That's why.
Wait.
That's why.
I was like,
It's not like I was. Yes.
And I would tell her, and we even got into an argument because I was like, Rosa, you literally need to go mentally prepared for this, like, because you don't know. Me, I feel like I'm the type that to know, like.
I did go
to
mentally
think of-
prepared. I did go. My mom kept saying, "You'll be fine."
And that's the
you'll be
thing with my
fine."
mom. She is that type of person where because even when she texted Miguel, because I think she said she had to go to the bathroom. She texted Mike to let him know that like they were gonna like take her,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't want to tell my mom, and he's like, tell her. I was like, why do I gotta tell her? Like, Why do I gotta break the news to her?
Hard, yeah.
And so then I told her, she's like, no. Like, the lawyer told me that that she's not gonna. I'm like, no, Mom. The lawyer told you kept in your head what you wanted to hear. I was like, the lawyer straight up told her, there's a possibility that they're gonna keep you, but also there's a possibility they might not. I was like, you just wanted to keep they might not in your head.
I feel like as a mom though, like you always
Yeah.
want to have that hope. Like you're her daughter,
Yes.
obviously. Like she doesn't want to believe that
Yeah.
she's gonna be here while you're over there.
Yeah.
And that's probably what was going through her head. Like I brought them here and now she's gone.
Yeah.
So I went into my appointment mentally prepared that I was gonna get detained. So I had already kind of left all my paperwork that they were gonna need. I had left,
Passwords and stuff.
password notes, a notebook with all the information that they were gonna need, where it was, everything.
Yeah.
And I had told my mom, I was like, here's your citizenship certificate. She's like, no, don't worry about it. It will be fine. You'll come home. I was like, no, Mom. I have a feeling that I'm not coming home.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm not coming home. She's like, no, you don't even think like that. I was like, I don't want to think like that, but I have to be mentally prepared that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So my mom was so in denial. Like she just.
Even me though, like
Yeah.
when I was texting her, I was like, "Do you guys have an update?" And she was like, "No." I was like, fuck, like they're really gonna take her, and like I didn't. Want
I feel like I knew like
negativity.
once the hour passed and like I said, I would ask them and nobody knew what to tell me, and I'm like, no, I'm like something's.
I knew right away as soon as the CBP agent said, do you need anything? Do you want something to eat, something to drink? There's a restroom. If you need anything, let me know, because it will be a while.
You're like
I was
they're
like-
booking me.
Well, they didn't even book her. They
No.
took her from there to the Salt Lake County
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
So how long were you in the Salt Lake County for?
So it was what,
2
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock when they finally
They finally came out to tell us.
yeah. And I did tell the agent, I was like, hey, when I asked him, I said, so am I gonna be detained? He's like, most likely yes, but we're still trying to figure out exactly what we're doing with you. So we're not sure, but most likely yes. And so at the time I was like, okay.
And he probably just wasn't authorized to give you a yes.
They
They
didn't know what to do with
They
her.
didn't know
Oh
what
my
to do with
gosh.
me. That's the thing that they didn't know.
It's even when he came out to give us her stuff, he was like, honestly, I don't even know why we're detaining her, why we have her here. Like, he's like, were just told to detain her.
Mhm.
He's like, we literally have no clue, like, cause he's like, who's Laura? I was like, I'm right here. And then I was like, why do y'all always not leave me in charge of this shit? And he's like, and I asked him, I was like, do you like why? Like, and he's like, we honestly don't know. He's like, we really don't know why we're detaining her because her case has been closed for so many years. He's like, we were just told to detain her and figure it out from there.
But you know what's crazy about that is like,
And he wasn't rude.
No, he
like
was
he
really
was
nice.
really nice because the one that I did ask the last time before, he was like, you just gotta wait. And he closed the window and like I literally sat down and he closed the window. I was like, how long do you want me to wait? At that point I was already fucking annoyed because I'm like, I'm asking you guys, you could at least tell me like something. Give me a little, and no, he closed the window and he was a bitch. But then later on, the one that took you back and then came and gave us your stuff, he was really nice. He was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I really don't want to do this. But it's like, we have to do it.
well, they don't have a choice.
They don't
doing
have a
their
choice,
job.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, well, you chose that job. What do you mean you don't want to
Yeah,
do it?
Right? Yeah, so I'm in the bathroom trying to unlock my phone so they can have access, because obviously everything is on my phone.
Right.
How to pay the mortgage, how to pay the bills, how to pay all my bills, everything. So I'm like trying to unlock it and trying to send the passwords to her, and it's not letting me. The only person that I was able to send the passwords were to my son. So I'm like in the bathroom trying to hurry up and send him a text message like, hey, they are gonna detain me. I'm sending you all the information. Here's the information to the attorney, blah, 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 everything.
And I think that was like around 5:30 when you texted Miguel because he called the attorney's office, but obviously they closed at 5.
Yeah.
So we weren't going to reach anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was like 5:30 and they didn't tell us anything. I want to say till like 7:38.
Well,
So we
that's
still waited like another 2.5 hours until they finally came out to tell us.
And then like literally like, cause your appointment was the day after Trump.
Yes.
Got
2 days
It was
after,
actually
right?
my original
Was supposed to be
court
Friday the
date was the
17th.
17th.
Yeah. And he got inaugurated the 19th.
The 20.
He got inaugurated the 20th.
The 20th.
Okay, yes.
And then her appointment was the
22nd.
22nd.
I don't think you realize how many people were so upset after he got in office.
And it's crazy because she even said, she's like, oh, the agent that called me, like, because I was there on the phone, I was there in the kitchen with her when he called her. And because he was just like that, they were so busy, and so they were just going to change her appointment. And then when she told me that, and we were talking about it, we're like, coincidentally, all of a sudden, Trump
And
goes
that's what I
into
would
office.
tell her. I was like, do you think they're just waiting for his laws to go into effect? Because that is so weird to me.
And then instantly, like, they even told us, they're like, it's because he's pushing. I'm like, you've only been in office for 2 fucking days.
Oh, yeah.
And he was already trying to push so many new freaking laws. It's like, bro, chill the fuck out. Settle the fuck down first.
Like, sit down, get comfy in your chair.
Yeah.
No, he was coming in hot.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, oh my God, I was so angry. Like, not just for you, but like so many people that like, you know, like my mom, she doesn't have papers. And it's like, it made me so angry that I'm like, this lady who works, pays her taxes, like has to be afraid for her life. Le puse cámara because she was afraid to open the door. Like, it was just so scary. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, Obama deported so many people. I'm like, yeah, the difference between Obama and Trump is that Trump is just actively being racist towards our community.
Yeah.
For no reason at all. And it's like, when do we put a stop to it? Because now this is when the hidden racists come out and they want to say, oh, we're not racist, we're just following the law. But it's like, no, you're literally racist.
Yeah.
Because you don't want any of us here. Like, you're trying to take even our our citizenship away. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I was wilding out.
Yeah.
Oh, she was going through it.
Even to this day, my best friend, he's actually a sheriff at the Salt Lake County
Where she
jail.
got booked.
Yeah, she was like hitting everyone up.
Yeah.
I did. I remember because I knew he was a cop. I just didn't know what county he was in. Sadie, my sister-in-law, was the one that was like, I swear Nick works at that. Because she called us right, because I was on my way to pick up the kids from, drop off Aaliyah Ricardo's when she called me. And it said, obviously, the Salt Lake County Jail. And then I told my brother about it, and Sadie was like, she literally was like, I swear this is the fucking jail Nick works at. I was like, I'm like, I don't know where, sorry. I don't know where he works. So then I texted him. I was like, where do you work? And she hit him up too. And that's when he told me, and he was like, he was on the back end, like trying to figure stuff out. And they had booked her.
When my sister-in-law had called him, he was actually on his way home. And he turned back around, went back to work to try to see if he can
Find
me. And he, by the time that I got taken back, like, he couldn't do anything. He's like, I couldn't go back there because where the pod that you was at, I didn't have access to. He's like, but till this day, everybody remembers the pretty girl that came in from that CBP brought in, and they didn't know what to do with her because you didn't have an active charges.
That's so crazy to me that they can just keep you there and like, yeah, maybe in their head they had a reason because of the new laws, but it's like they didn't really have a reason.
No,
like, you had paid your dues, like you were done with it. Like, obviously you have nothing to do with that, right?
And she never got any besides like traffic tickets, but other than that, she's never
But I don't
been
even
in
think
trouble with the
people
law.
realize, like, maybe even watching this episode, they could be like, oh, well, it was drugs. But it's like, you could have a fucking DUI.
DUI.
Yeah.
Basically, the type of crimes that they do not pardon is so theft, domestic violence, drugs.
But it's not like she got. Let me clarify. It's not like she got a charge for selling drugs.
No.
She was buying them.
It was possession.
She wasn't selling them. So before people are like, oh, well, she was selling drugs.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people think like, oh, like they just think drunks and they instantly think like bad of people.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, like your Theo probably has a DUI and he's probably a great person, but he made a mistake and he could be in the brink of deportation.
And there was actually when I was taken to Vegas, I was the only female in the van when immigration came and got us. So I was the only female, and there was 4 or 5 5 guys, and only one of them was actually going to see the judge. All the other ones had already signed their deportation, and most of them did. A couple of them had green cards at one point, but because they had gotten charges 20 years prior,
Oh wow.
and it was like their second deportation or whatever, they just decided just to sign their deportation over and get it over with.
Well, I think because at that point they're like, there's no way, or
Yeah.
like they probably don't even have the funds
Exactly.
to go and get an actual lawyer to help them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because while I was in jail, there was a lot of women that came in saying, yeah, well, I filed for asylum, I have an attorney, and I'm like, but an immigration attorney is not going to help you here.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in deportation proceedings. Now you need a attorney that not only practice immigration but also deportation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and all the attorneys that practice that, they're pretty expensive.
I kid you not, when we went that day after her, she got taken, we were there for a minute, like waiting to get seen, because we were obviously going to sign the contract, and he was like, I could just hear their phones were just ringing and ringing, and the lady was like, we're far out to like 2 months.
Oh wow.
They're like, we are booked out till May, June. Like, if you need to get in, like, that's as far as you gotta wait.
I was actually even lucky to get in because I had my original appointment on the 17th, and I had called in, I think it was like the 14th, 13th, 14th that I had called. And I had actually spoken to my attorney. And when she told me she couldn't help me. And so I'm like, well, can you kind of, tell me who would be a good attorney for me to contact? Point me in the right direction. And she's like, well, you can call so-and-so.
Yeah.
So I looked him up. I called and kind of gave the receptionist a little rundown of what was going on, and that I was having an appointment with CBP, and she's like, okay, well, I can get you in. I think it was like the next day. She's like, I can get you the next day. Usually we don't have anything out till like a month. She said, but
So you got like lucky.
They were
That was
lucky.
God.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, when she went to the jail, I think you were only there for what, 2 days?
I was only there for 2 days. So I had asked the CBP agent, I was like, so how long am I gonna be here in at the county jail? And he's like, well, no more than 48 hours. Within 48 hours, the ICE agents should be coming and picking you up and taking you to Vegas.
We had made our appointment to go see her that Sunday, because I had called before I made the appointment. I had called and I had asked them, I was like, do you guys know like a date when she's gonna be like taken? And they're like, no. They're like, we don't know what time. And I made that appointment.
And then she was gone. I remember you.
Yeah, and then I woke up the next day and to a text message from her friend, and he was like, I can't find her in the system anymore. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, give me a second. And this is, mind you, this is at the time I'm waking up for work. And then I was like, what do you mean you can't find her? I was like, I already have an appointment to go see her. What are you fucking talking about? And then he's like, no, she was taken out this time. And I was like, oh, great. And I'm like, now I gotta tell my mom. Because my mom was going with the hope that she was gonna see her at least. And I was like, no, she's gone. I'm like, she's in Vegas now. I was like, well, we had to wait for her to call us, obviously, to let us know she had gotten there. But she was just like this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just tell you, like, that's the most emotional I've seen Laura.
Literally.
Like, I don't blame her, because I would be a fucking baby if that happened to my family. Like, I was at the point where I was telling her, I was like, dude, if my mom gets deported, I'm leaving to Mexico. I was like, ¿pa qué me quedo? Like, I have no one here besides her. Like, obviously I have my siblings, but like, that's my mom.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
why would I stay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, at that point, I saw her, like, your family, like, in the, like, desesperados, like, to have an answer, and they had no answer.
Mm-hmm.
And she would even get mad with your lawyer, his
Oh
assistant.
my god! Not even it wasn't his assistant. I think she was just
Was
because
it
they thought that we
paralegal?
were Hispanic that she would help us. I'm like, I don't need a Hispanic person. I can speak English. Like, give me somebody that understands me better. And it would annoy me because I would ask her questions and she would never respond back. And I'm like, and then I would call the receptionist and they're like, well, you have to call her. I'm like, she doesn't answer the fucking phone. How do you want me to talk to her if she's not responding? Yeah. I'm like, if you don't know the information, ask somebody and get back to me. Like, obviously, it's not fucking free. I'm like, that what you're doing. I'm like, do something. And then it pissed me off when we went to go see her. When we went to go, me and Miguel went for, what did we go for? I don't remember what we went for. And she's seen us at this point anymore. I no longer was having contact with her. At this point, I already knew who your lawyer's assistant was, so I was in contact with him, and I think she realized it, so she went up to the receptionist and she's seen us, and they're like, did you ask her attorney? And she just looked, and I just looked back at her. I was like,
bitch, you
want to say something?
Like, do you know who I am?
And she just left, and then she texted me when you got out. She texted me and she's like, I'm so happy for your sister. I'm like, no, bitch, go fuck yourself. Like, because you didn't help. Yeah. She pretty much made me fill out the application. I'm like, at this point, let me fill it out. Give me the paper. Because you don't know what you're doing.
And mind you, I'm going to say it. I was a little nervous. Because
you had to trust her.
I had to trust her, yes. Because I was like, fuck. That's why I left her a notebook with all the notes of where everything was.
And your notes didn't even work.
Well, you had to do a little digging, but everything was there.
She was like in the room facing me, like
literally. But I was just so annoyed because your siblings, they were the ones that I was ready to. They're gonna watch this.
But I tell her, I was like, now you know what I deal with.
Literally, because
not just them, you too.
But literally,
that's what I deal with on a day in
and
day
I literally had gone off on Miguel, like I think right before we left Vegas, like the week before, because he's like, have you called the attorney? I was like, you know what? If you don't want me to fucking, if I don't call the attorney, I have other fucking shit I gotta deal with. I was like, go take your mom to the doctor. I was like, she has an appointment. What the fuck? I'm like, well, then shut the fuck up. I was like, if you're not gonna call the attorney yourself, and if what's her name's not gonna call the attorney either, then shut the fuck up. I'll do it when I have time. I'm like, because I'm tired of your guys' shit. Shut the fuck up. I was like, and she has a son too. He can call. Why doesn't he call? But because that week, literally before we left, I had my mom's appointment. I had my therapy appointments. Like, I was trying to get everything in order. Because we had to go fill out the affidavits, me and my mom. So I'm like, it was literally like appointment after appointment, and Miguel was just like, have you called? No, bitch, call yourself at this point.
You can call too.
And Miguel's the type of person who won't do shit.
No, he won't. Because even till this day, if he needs something, so how do I do this? So I need help.
Okay, yeah, we're definitely the same sign because why do all my mom relies on me for everything, and she's like, I can't ask your sister porque le da flojera, and I'm like, fuck
my mom with her.
I'm like, fuck me.
Yep, my mom with her. But I'm like their freaking accountant, their tax person, everything, babysitter, everything.
You're the brains.
Yes. Yep. Not just beauty, the brains.
No, I did. I told him, I was like, now I understand. Like, I understand.
I was like, and you only did it for 2 months.
That's all I needed. The moment she got out, I was like, here you go.
She's like, here's your phone, here's everything.
Here's your card, your ID, everything. Take it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't. I'm like, no, because it was, I don't think it was like hard. I think it was just having to figure, because obviously I'm at work. I can't be on the phone with her to ask her, like, or I can't be like, hey Rosa, how do I do this, or like, where do I find this?
It's not like you can just
because they would call me, and then especially within the last week when they wanted the stuff from like the clinic, and I'm like, how the fuck do I get this? Where am I gonna look? Like, because I was like, I swear I have seen a certificate, but it wasn't that certificate. It was a certificate for something else, and I'm like, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, putting my trust in Laura.
I got you here, right?
I mean,
I got you here.
And so
you did something right.
Yes,
raising her.
And that's I did good. But that's why I was like, okay, like, God, please give me strength.
You're like, I'm putting my trust in her.
I'm putting in my whole life, my trust in Laura. She's not the smartest person, but hopefully
honestly, I'm pretty smart.
Hopefully she will get shit together. But I was like, okay.
Bitch, I kid you not, I got everything got together in 24 hours.
I was impressed.
I literally, that was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Thursday
and Friday, I took him off work because obviously Thursday we went to see the lawyer. By Friday, I had everything. I had copies, everything. I had taken everything on Friday to The attorneys, they're like, well, we'll make copies and we'll call you. I was like, nope, there's your copies. Everything is copied. They're like, really? I was like, it was like a big stack like this. I was like, everything. I was like,
You're
take
like,
it.
I'm on 34 Red Bulls.
Literally, that's how it was. I think I had Red Bull after Red Bull that day. I think I fell asleep on her bed that night when I was trying to get everything put together because I'm like, last time I checked, she has more siblings. Where they at?
That's what I say every time when my mom
Well, now
needs
you don't
something.
want to leave on the will.
Right? When my mom needs something, I'm like, shit. Last I checked, I had 5 other siblings. Where the fuck are they?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Even when my mom had to go get her blood work done for that, they needed like a new thing of like a second round of them. I was like, I can't. I literally cannot at this point. I can't take any more days off. Like I can't.
Maxed out.
And I told Miguel because it was a Friday. I specifically made the appointment. I'm like, can she have it on Friday? And they're like, yeah. Miguel doesn't work Fridays. I'm like, take your mom. What the hell? I'm like, no, you're gonna take her. I'm like, cause I can't take her. I have other shit. I gotta work. I'm like, cause you're not gonna pay my bills. Oh, and then he's like, I guess. But he was pissed because he had to take her. I'm like, no. I'm like,
For 30 minutes.
You do so. Not even for. It's literally just to pull blood out.
Yeah, but
That
I'm
was
saying
it.
like the drive there back home.
He's there all the time though. Llega viernes y ahí está.
That's why I don't even ask him for anything because
It's just gonna piss you off.
it's just gonna piss me off, and I'm like, it's not even worth it. I just rather just handle it myself
It's not worth the stress.
and make sure that it gets done correctly. Because if I send somebody else to be calling me and ask me, well, they're asking this about my mom. Well, what should I put for this? At that point,
Might as well be
Me
there.
literally when I went to my
myself.
mom's appointment that her pain like her doctor and it asked you questions. I was like, I never came to an appointment. I'm not gonna say I take my mom to her appointment because I don't know. I literally had back-to-back appointments and I was like, I know so Rosa would make an appointment for this. Let me make an appointment for this because they're like, she needs to do this. She needs okay make the appointments. I'm like, cause I know how to make it, but it's gonna yell at me.
Well, yeah. No. So like I guess after the whole like they took you from Salt Lake, they transferred you to Vegas. What happened then?
So once I got to Vegas, I already had my court date set when I had my appointment. They had given me my paperwork with my court date and everything, so kind of already knew when that was, and it was like within 10 days from me being taken. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go to court.
It's only 10 days.
It's
I'm gonna
only 10
get
days.
bail,
I
I'm
got
gonna
this.
go home,
I got this. And once I went to court, and it was pretty fast. It was fast. I was like the first one that they called, and my attorney was like, "Oh yeah, we're petitioning for this and this," and the judge was like, "Okay, well, next court date is March 24th," and I was like, "What?"
It's the 3rd of February.
I'm like, it's
Literally.
February 3rd. What do you mean March 24th? And he's like, can we get it sooner? She's like, nope. We're booked out. That's like the soonest. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna take this as a small vacation.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Me in the back crushing out because I was like,
She
what the
literally
fuck?
would call me crying. I'd be like, oh my god. I'm like, now I know
Yeah.
how she feels when I cry.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm like, I got this. It's only 2 months. It's only 2 months.
But how were those 2 months for you?
Not gonna lie, the first couple of weeks it was pretty tough. It was pretty
Yeah.
tough. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. And then I prayed a lot. I
God
prayed.
was with you.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, she has migraines. She gets migraines like
Yes.
every other day.
Yeah.
Did you get me?
At that
I
point,
did.
she had gotten what they told you have sleep apnea. She had already gotten a machine at home that she was sleeping with. Mind you, she just barely started it. She goes from starting that to not having it to go to
And
sleep.
not having no medication for my migraines, which
Did they give you any medication at all?
they had asked what type of medication I took. I let them know. And they're like, well, we can't give you that medication.
Because it's prescribed.
Well, they basically they couldn't give it to me. They're like, the best thing we can do is just give you Excedrin. And
Wow.
they would only give it to me for 7 days. morning and night. And then they would stop it for 7 days, and then I would have to submit another medical kite to get it again.
Noticias like the girls like from prison where they like hide it.
No, because they would actually, when you took your medication, they would make you open your mouth and stick your tongue out and and all that, and check your cup and check your hands.
Make sure it's not like anywhere
Mhm.
down.
Yeah,
So you can be sneaky there.
yeah, you know you can't.
Then you need to have immigration officers at these prisons because
No, and this whole time I'm thinking that they're gonna actually take me to an immigration detention center.
That's what I thought it was
An ICE
until
detention
just that
center.
that weekend.
Yeah, and
so
so
it wasn't not.
no, so when we got to Vegas to the immigration office, the immigration building, and they have a detention center in there, and I thought that's where they were going to leave me, and they're like, well, we're leaving in 2 hours. Where are we going? I'm like, where are we going? Thought this was the last. They're like, oh no. So all the guys that had already signed their deportation, they were actually taken to the federal ICE detention center
Oh.
because they were already getting deported.
So at this point, this had been the second stop.
Technically, we did from the time that I left Salt Lake to the time I got to Vegas. We stopped in Cedar City. There's a detention center there, Cedar City. It doesn't even look like a detention center. I thought it was just like,
Where we went to the Maverick?
yeah,
Above.
right above.
Shut up.
Yep. It just looks like a regular building. Yeah. And when we got there, it was more like we were just taking a break just to have lunch, bathroom break, and pick somebody up, and then we were back on the road. Well, when I got there, one of the ICE agents was like asking me why I was there and if I had an attorney and who it was, and everybody knew my attorney. They're like, "Oh, you'll be fine. He's a really good attorney. You know, just go to
I'm still here.
yeah, just go to court." I'm like,
God. What am I supposed to do?
what am I supposed to do?
I'm
Not go to
here.
court. And so they're like, "Oh yeah, we deported so and so."
Like, she's a famous TikToker.
Annie Garcia.
She was from Utah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
I had followed her.
Yeah,
on
the angel was
TikTok.
like, "Yeah, I deported her." I was like, "And you still follow her, even though you deported her?" He's like, "Yeah, she's doing great." Blah blah blah.
Now, did you guys say she's going to be a lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
And she got a U visa too.
Yeah.
She just came into the United States last year.
Yeah, and so we picked up a guy from there, and then from there we drove to Mesquite, and they transferred us vans, and from Mesquite they took us down to downtown Las Vegas. From there we were there for another couple hours, and then they transferred. We were all supposed to go in one van, but the agents had a little squabble.
We're arguing.
Yeah.
Yes, so they ended
Who's
up
in charge, me or you?
exactly
Literally what it was.
Yep. And so they ended up splitting us up. The ones that were going to the federal detention center, they were taken in one van, and the ones that were going to see the judge, which is me as a female only, and the one of the other guys that had originally came with me, and then there was 2 other guys there that had been taken from the jail there to do their fingerprints or whatnot. So it was 4 of us that were going back to the detention center. So I didn't know where they were taking me. So when I got to the detention center, I was like, "This is a jail." She's like, "Yeah." "Is this where you're taking me?" She's like, "Yeah, this is the detention center." I'm like, "But it's a jail." She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh fuck. Okay, all right, I guess I'm going to jail."
Oh my god, that's so crazy.
Yeah,
And then so like in that moment you like
and in that moment I was like, "Oh fuck," because everybody was like, the guys, you know, that were in the van, they were like, "Oh yeah, once we get to the detention center, it's gonna be so much better. Blah blah blah. We're gonna have actual beds. We're gonna have actual food." Mind you,
I think in their mind it's part like a detention center, like
Yes.
juvie type shit.
Yeah.
no, because the
It's like
actual
what I mean.
ICE detention centers are way better than jail.
did they just have that one like so filled up with people that they couldn't take you guys there?
I think that they just didn't have space for females because all the females were taken there to the jail. The ICE had actually had a contract with that detention center, with Henderson Detention Center, to basically house
You guys, yeah.
houses.
Yeah, because they didn't know shit.
Yeah, the basically if we wanted to know something about our case or if we had court or talk to our ICE agent, we literally had sent an ICE kite with our questions and whatnot, and hope that they would respond.
Did they ever?
I had it when I first got there, which was the Friday. I had sent in my kite asking, when was my court, and I never received anything. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not gonna even waste my time doing that. I had, by the time I had gotten there, Friday was like, Friday afternoon. I hadn't ate for like I didn't eat that whole day when I was going to my appointment because I was nervous. I didn't eat the next day or the next day. So it was like 3 days without eating.
I feel that.
Yep. And so yeah, and once I got to the detention center, I had a massive migraine. And I let them know I need some medication. They're like, you have to wait to see the doctor.
So you were housed with like other jail inmates? So it wasn't just...
It wasn't it wasn't just ICE. It was like all the pod that we were in, it was all females. We were all mixed up. Depending on the officer, they would house all of ICE with ICE and, the regular inmates with regular inmates, but there was times that
You guys were together.
Well,
and then me and Laura would joke. It wasn't a time for joking, obviously.
No.
We were like, we would be like, dude, like if I was your sister, I'd be someone's bitch in there.
No, I always said it. I was like, if I go to jail, like I could be a bitch, but if I go to jail, I'll be someone's bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Cause it's either. But then again, I say that, but I'm like, I'm fucked. You didn't talk to me like that, bitch. The fuck?
No, I would definitely 100%.
I know when we were going to the basketball game, and I was telling her. What did I tell you? I told you about some girl like wanting something from you. I think she wanted you to like.
Oh, like a deodorant, no?
No, I think it was she wanted to use your money for it to call.
Oh yeah, she was asking if I had money on my books, if she can make a call with my money. I was like, yeah, no, I don't have any.
And she's like, I'm so glad your sister knows how to like defend herself.
And that's
she's
literally,
like,
I'm like,
she's like, if not, I'm like, yeah, you can go.
No, literally, I was like, the good thing is like you guys tienen carácter.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm such a pussy.
No.
Like, here you go.
We're building character here. We're trying to build.
No, I would trade my food from jail, trade it for something else, a noodle or something. Get my hair braided. I'm like, okay, I'll give you 2 juice packets for 2 braids.
I told her I was like, you're the new orange is the new black. My she was wearing orange jumpsuit.
She was.
And no, it was red. It was red.
But in the camera, it looked orange. And I literally, when I first seen her, and I was like, you're the negrita from Orange is the
The one with the chinito.
Yeah. No. Well, how did your first let's say your first 48 hours in there, like as you started seeing more people? Because I know you were telling us like. They just got more people. We just got more people.
Yeah. Well, when I first got there, there was only 2, 3. I think there was only 5 of us. There were with ICE, and then so let's see. I got there that Friday, and immigration would come and pick up the deportees on Tuesdays. So that Tuesday nobody got taken until I think it was like after my court that one of the ladies ended up she got taken back to Mexico. She got deported.
Oh.
And then she left and 2 more came. And it was like 3 would leave, 5 would come.
So they were like in and out.
Oh,
Ni
yes.
duraban.
No duraban. As soon as they would see the judge and sign their deportation over.
So were you the only one with the lawyer at this point?
At this point, I was the only one with a lawyer and the only one with a green card
Oh.
fighting my case. Everybody else, they didn't have papers. They were illegal. They had active charges, and they didn't have attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was. It was me as a Mexican, another lady as a Mexican that also had drug charges. And there was a Peruvian that had embezzlement charges. And she was only like 21, 22.
Oh wow.
Yes. There was another Colombian. There was a Colombian that was in there for beating her autistic son.
Oh yeah, I think I told you. I just couldn't really hear what she had.
Yeah. For beating her autistic son, and according to her, like she was just, saying like nonchalantly that she had beat up
Oh,
her
I hate
kid.
bitches like that. Like,
Yeah.
nothing happened.
That woman I
Yeah.
would whoop dress.
And there was a Romanian girl. She was also really young. She was like 21, and also she was in there. When we would ask her what do you do outside for work? She's like, oh,
She's
I
a
work at
stripper.
Sephora.
Oh.
I work at Ulta. I work here and I work there. I was like, you work everywhere? She's like, yeah, I steal.
Oh, me.
Yeah, so she would steal, and she was in there for stealing.
She's the type of lady that you would buy your Christmas gifts from.
No, technically, it was not like she was stealing the merchandise. It was more of she was paying,
With
you know,
big money.
paying, for the merchandise, but then taking half of that money back. So
How?
it was.
I need some tips.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the other girl, the Peruvian, she actually was buying merchandise with fake money.
Oh.
So-
okay.
Yeah. So there was all kinds of people there.
That's crazy. But these were all active charges,
Active
no papers,
charges.
no like nothing
Yeah.
at all. Wow.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there started coming more people coming in from Honduras, Venezuela, and all because they had gone through the CBP One app, got in their work permit and everything. But once Trump went in office, he canceled all of that.
All of
Yeah.
that. Yeah. It was like 800,000, I think.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I saw.
a lot. That's what a lot of people were in there for, because basically they were being called in for a status check,
And they
and-
knew they didn't have it
and
at that point.
basically they thought that they still had, that their work permit was still active, but it was. they
Well,
hadn't.
because that's what I'm saying. Like in their head, it was still
Mhm.
active, but Trump had revoked all of their work permits.
And that was within like the week of like when you were just seeing on the news like of everybody just like they just deporting people. Like there was one they were all going just pulling people out of their
Yes.
houses, their works and
Did
stuff.
you
right.
see the TikTok I reposted of the guy who got deported?
They have papers?
Yeah, that he had a green card. He went into work and they had him ready to go.
Mm.
They got like 4 or 5 other guys, and they didn't give him food, water, nothing. And when he got to Mexico, the first thing they gave him was flautas and then pozole the next day. I wanted to cry. I was like, that is
Yeah.
so fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, the way that they received them, like with mariachi y todo, because of, it was after they seen them going all cuffed. They made a TikTok about it.
yeah.
They literally made a TikTok and posted it on their Twitter of like how they were like a silent ASMR, like how they were like handcuffing
Yes, they
them.
made it a commercial.
Oh wow.
It's so fucked up. Like that's how you know like they give zero fucks.
Well, right now I guess there is a guy that he had his work permit and basically was requesting asylum. He was Venezuelan. No, I think he was Venezuelan or Salvadorian or something like that. But the judge had actually signed an order for him not to be deported.
Oh, it was Salvadorian. I
Yes.
did hear that
And
story.
he actually got sent to the that jail out there.
Guantanamo Bay.
No,
I told him about it.
In Salvador.
uh
He got deported.
He got deported.
But
to
his
El
wife's
Salvador.
a U.S. citizen
Yep.
and he has 5 children here, and he is legally
Mhm.
here, and he had no active warrants,
Nope.
nothing like that, and they won't bring him back.
No, they won't. Even though the Trump and all
They admitted
they
it was a
admitted that it was a
mistake.
clerical error, but they don't want to bring him back.
Yeah, they don't want to spend the money, even though he's literally allowed to be here.
Yeah.
But that's how you know it's not about whether you're here legally or not. They don't want us
They
here
don't
at all.
want. Nope.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
fuck you, because we're here.
I remember I had told her I had gone into it with some guy on my Snapchat because he had posted on his Snapchat about like, oh, my president, he's so good. He can sabe que. Mind you,
Fuck
this
your
man is like
president.
Hispanic.
Mm.
He posts his mom sometimes, and I'm just like.
Like,
And
you're
so
a
then we
dumbass.
were going out. I was like, I bet you anything your mom doesn't have fucking papers, and if she fucking does, she got him just the same way
They
you
wish
might have got him or
everyone did.
something.
Well, even what is it? The Secretary of State right now, he is Hispanic, and his parents were actually immigrants.
Well, so
Trump's
we're Donald
wife is
Trump.
not
Exactly, and it's like,
Well, we're all fucking.
but then he's
immigrants.
he's saying that it's different for his parents.
All of a sudden, it's different
like, no,
when
it's the
they're
same
when
shit.
they're up
It's the
here.
entitlement.
They think it's different. They think they have like the power of something that they're special. But like just because you're down here, it doesn't fucking change shit.
Yeah.
It's the entitlement that they have. Like, just because we don't have their money or their status or their power, then it's different because we live regular lives.
Yeah.
And it was like to the point
Well,
where like
fuck you, because if we get famous, then I'm gonna have your entitlement.
it's like once it started happening, like I remember when I went to work, like after that week, some lady for work, she's like, do you think I should carry my green card? I was like, lady, at this point it doesn't even fucking matter if you carry it.
Yeah, it
It
does.
doesn't. I'm like, my mom was even carrying her passport at that point because it's like, yeah, she's Hispanic, she's a little old viejita, but
Damn bitch.
like she's a U.S. citizen.
But if they see her,
Yeah.
they're the first thing they're gonna do is profile. I don't know if you heard about the guy who was profiled in West Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a U.S. citizen, and just nomás porque pasó and he took a picture of ICE, they were like, "Oh, you trying to run into our car?"
Yep.
type of shit.
Oh yeah.
And now he's trying to sue them.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, so all this happened. I mean, in a way, I knew it was gonna happen sooner or later, and it was kind of meant.
And I think that's why she was so scared for so many years to do it because
Yes.
she knew.
Because I
Do you
knew.
feel like now that you won your case, like it was a blessing in disguise because
It
you
was.
can get your citizenship?
It was, yeah, because now I don't have a deportation order anymore, and I can actually put in for my citizenship. When before, all I could do was keep renewing my green card, and never be able to leave the country or become a citizen because
Yeah.
of the charges. But now that all that's been erased, now I
So you're
can
a free woman.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do as soon as you get your citizenship?
travel the world.
There you go.
How was it like? Obviously, like you said, like there was people coming in and out. Like, but how was your experience? Like, did you ever get into it with anybody? Like,
Oh, every day.
Let me just. I think like the question that I'm asking because somebody did ask. That way, so you can just answer it. But they had asked. Did you see poor treatment of people or experience it yourself?
No. I mean,
Because obviously, you get treated differently in jail. Like, there's good cops, bad cops.
yeah. I mean, it just depends on the.
But did you ever,
officer.
like, did you ever see something like
Like they
other
were
people,
picking on her, kind of,
or like others getting picked on? Because obviously you spoke English. Like I know you would say that people you would help some of the ladies
Yeah,
like, out.
I was kind of like the ICE welcoming committee.
At this point, they should have just given you a fucking job.
Right? No, yeah, I
And
was.
like I do this shit at home, now I
Because-
have to do it here.
Right? No, because I was the only one that kind of spoke really good English and really good Spanish. So I was kind of like their translator, or because there was some of the officers that didn't speak Spanish, and so whenever they had a question or they needed help with something, they would call on me for them.
Be like, y'all better be adding some money to my books because I ain't doing this shit for free.
Right.
That would have been me.
She wouldn't have helped anyone.
No.
No, no, and I mean, I started helping people, and then I started, I stopped because I seen that it's like you're asking me for help, and
You're enabling them.
I'm helping you. I'm showing you how to, get things done, but then you keep asking me the same shit over again.
Because they expect you to do it.
Yes, and I was like, no, I'll show you once. You're on your own after that.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot of these women, they were in denial about their cases.
No.
Like they were delusional.
Or a little delulu.
Yeah, they were just a little delulu. Yeah, they basically thought that, they were gonna be out on bail. They were just there temporarily. They were gonna get out and this, and I'm like, you guys have to actually look at what your charges are,
Yeah.
and if you have an attorney or not. Yeah, you can represent yourself, but more so represent yourself to be deported.
And I don't think a lot of people know though, like as soon as they sign that letter, like you're done.
You're done.
It doesn't matter.
Well, they actually have you can do a voluntary deportation, where you can actually, with the voluntary deportation, you can still come back.
Within like 10 years, can
It just depends. Sometimes it's 3-5 years, but if you get deported by a judge, expulsion, depending on your crimes.
So if you do it on your own, you can have the chance to come back. But if a judge does it, you're done.
Well, either way, the judge is going to have to sign your deportation, even if you ask for voluntary deportation. But like there was that girl, the Peruvian, all the crimes that she had committed, she wanted to get voluntary deportation, and the judge was like, I am very impressed with all your charges. You're so young and you have all these charges. Like, I can't give you voluntary deportation. I have to give you expulsion.
And I think the sad part is like they don't realize like how good you could have it here if you just follow the law.
Yeah.
You know, like in
so
the
that's fácil.
yeah, like in the way that like just work.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that once you have a green card, you're good.
No.
You're good, that you're exempt from ever losing it or from anything. And it's like, no, you can lose your green card.
We've had
in
like
a blink of an eye.
We've had uncles like on my mom's side of the family where majority of them had papers. And ask her now how many siblings she has that have papers. None, just one. But he's a U.S. citizen. The rest, they all lost them because robaban, vendían drogas, hacían lo que no tenían que hacer, and because se les hacía fácil because, oh, I have a green card.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ever fucking lose it. And now where are they? They lost their family. They live alone. They're barely making ends meet at this point because they had it so good here. Literally, it's the shitty thing is that they had it better than us. Way better than us because they had companies, this and that. But it's like...
But they took that for granted.
They took it for granted.
Yeah.
They didn't care. How was it when you realized that you had no bail?
Well, I knew I didn't have any bail.
But remember you had called and you, like, obviously when you're court, obviously you went to court, you were there. We didn't know she didn't have bail because we, that was the weekend that we did the fundraiser and stuff. Because we're like, in case she has bail, like, we need to have the money.
Yeah.
And I remember when she's like, I don't have any bail, and I was like...
Yeah, because my attorney had told me, he's like, the type of charges that you have, there is no bail. You won't be able to have bail.
You know what's crazy is that when they told us, obviously at this point I wasn't talking to the attorney's assistant or anything, I was still talking to that girl. And when she told us that your court got to the 25th, and I asked her, I was like, can you tell me why she doesn't have bail? She's like, well, no, we don't know. And then later on is when I found out that the only reason she didn't get bail was because of the type of charges she had gotten. But I'm like, why didn't nobody tell us? Because in our head we're like, well, why doesn't she have bail? Like, what's the reason?
Yeah.
But I didn't know because of the charges she had was the reason why you didn't
And
get
by
bail.
charges, it was just what they had gotten you with before. Like there was nothing new that they charged you with
Right.
once they detained you.
Right. Yeah, because of the possession drug charges that I had. Basically kind of like excluded me from being able to have bond. And when I had spoken to the attorney, he did tell me, he's like, yeah, there's we shouldn't waste our time in putting in for a bond petition because it's going to be denied. So let's just focus on submitting your petition for cancellation of removal process for a green card holder.
And there's different applications. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, there's different, very.
There's like I think the one she did was like the A or the B, I can't remember. That was the stop the deportation one, and then there's like other ones, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
And you filled those out?
Pretty much did though. At this point, I just needed the paper to fill it out
Yeah.
because the lady wanted me to do everything for her.
Yeah, and there was.
Because it was her first time too. Because she had even said when we went, she's like, this is my first like deportation, like stop
Do you think that's
removal.
why she was avoiding you?
But it's like if you can't do your job at that point,
Just say,
like,
I
just
can't,
say it,
I don't know how to
can't.
do it.
Because she would literally ask me like the stupidest questions, and I'm just like, come on, like why can't you ask your attorney? Like, at this point,
ya sabes.
yeah, I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like she would ask me like, oh, I need Rosa's this, I need Rosa, and I'm like, well, where do you want me to get that from? Like, I don't know where to get that from. And she's like, well,
Do
you
they
ask?
have
And that's
the
what
power
irked
to,
my
like,
soul.
Get into files like.
No, because I actually had not retained the because when I went to go speak to the attorney, it was more like a consultation. I hadn't retained him at the moment, and he did tell me, he's like, if you do happen to get detained, then make sure you let somebody know to come back and retain me so I can start the process.
Yeah.
So by me not retaining him at that moment and not signing the contract myself, basically they didn't have a what was it called? A release of information, like a power of a release of information.
Like a power of attorney type of thing.
Yeah. So they were limited on what they could do.
Yeah,
And they
I'm
couldn't
telling
even
you.
get it from you while you
No.
weren't.
And that's what I'm saying. The lady that's when I knew, I'm like, lady, you're fucking stupid. You know what the fuck you're doing. Because she called me. She's like, do you know Rosa's green card number? I was like, no. I'm like, at that point you had already got it confiscated. Like they had taken it away from you. Your other one, I didn't know where it was at. And I was like, no, like she doesn't have it. Like she had it with her that day. She's like, well, can you call her and ask her? I was like, literally, I was on the phone and I was like, how the fuck do you want me to call my sister? She's in fucking jail. Like, does that not make sense to you? She's like, oh yeah, I'll figure it out. I was like, yeah, do it. Do your fucking job. And I think that's the only and I think that's probably why she was avoided, because that was the day that I'm like, you're not asking me this
Crash down
fucking
on her that day.
stupid question, right? And then she later on called me and she told me where I could find like a copy of it. But mind you, it was like a shitty copy. Like I literally was had to like zoom in as much as I could to be able to read it. But I'm like, at that point she's like, oh, I found it. I'm like, how hard was it to do your fucking job?
Exactly.
You're not paying me, bitch.
You're like, I'm paying you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What was your like experience in those 2 months that you were in there?
She became an artist.
This bitch.
Picasso. A Picasso. When you go to my house, look at the
No,
fridge.
I just drew my granddaughter. That's it.
No, mind you, when we got that, Kenani looked at me and I was like, the way those eyes are open, that's how your eyes look when
Yes.
you open them, girl.
Aw, I want to see that picture.
Yeah, I think I showed you the one she did for Eli, right?
Yeah,
The
we saw the one for
yeah.
No, I had somebody draw that. I didn't draw it myself.
Oh, I know.
I paid somebody to draw it.
She's so
She's like, here's a ramen noodle.
Yep, I'll give you
Yeah.
some coffee, some ramen, what you want. And so this girl was always asking me for stuff. I was like, instead of you asking me every day that, to help you out with this or help you out with that, how about instead of having all these bitches come in and asking you for a picture, how about you sell it to them? She's like, oh, I feel like I'm not that good. And I don't know, like, I'm embarrassed to ask him for shit. I was like, but you're not embarrassed to ask me.
Me as fuck.
She's like, you should what did she say?
She wanted you to be her promoter.
Yep. I was like, I got you.
job back in the day.
Yep. I used to be a promoter. No, I was like, yeah, I got you. I was like, so when girls would come in, oh, can you draw this for me? Yeah, what you got?
Oh.
Well, is it you or her? I said it's her, but
But I'm collecting.
I'm her manager.
I'm collecting the ramen noodles.
Yep. I'm like, I'm her manager. I was like, so, what do you have to pay? I was like, because if you're coming over here requesting shit, it's because you're gonna pay for it.
It reminded me of when my dad would make his scarves. My dad, if you see him now, he would never, but he made scarves, he made blankets, he made headbands.
That's why he likes
purses.
being in prison.
Yeah.
My
And I'm
brother
like,
with his little keychains
Yup.
and all.
and my dad would make us like little cadenitas and pulseras. I'm like, puta, nena, si la pinche cállate, boy. But she always like, she got into reading.
I always used to read. I just never had the time. I don't have the time to do a lot of shit because I was
her vacation.
Yes, I was always having to worry about everybody and their mamas by myself.
Well, now it's time to worry about yourself.
Exactly.
About yourself.
Yeah, by myself.
I realized in 2 months that I gotta do shit by myself.
Okay.
There's other people that don't.
Okay, well, let's see.
Let's see.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
Yo no me meto, yo no soy familia.
What's it called? So how was it when it came down to your court though?
Oh, fuck.
Were you nervous?
I was nervous, like, so fucking nervous. Because the day before, my attorney had came in and visited me in jail and was like, okay, so this is what we're gonna focus on. This is what we're gonna talk about. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay.
Did he like go with over you like what he
He
gonna
went-
ask you and
yes.
you were gonna answer back?
Yeah. So he went over the questions that he was gonna ask me and gave him my answer. He's like, okay, let's tweak it a little bit. Let's answer like this. Go more into detail.
When
Is it like the
kind of
movies, like how we see?
I kind of
Yes.
noticed it, like that she knew what she was answering because Rosa has that face where like she smirks. So she was talking and
She
she
already
like
knew.
I'm like, did this motherfucker train this bitch? Because I know damn well she's not. Because she would answer and she'd be like, and Miguel even said it. He's like, this bitch. Something. I was like, yeah, you're right. Like something because we were going in,
But I was
not
still
knowing.
nervous. But I was still nervous.
Yeah, we went in with it like because I had spoken to the assistant the Friday before. Like I was like, "There's anything I need to know?" Because mind you, the week or two before that, he had me and my mom go in to fill out our affidavits because he's like, there might be a possibility that they're gonna bring either you or your mom up. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not.
No, it's
And-
like I'm gonna stay my ass home.
yeah, and he asked me because he was asking me questions because he's like, well, what do you know about your sister? And I was answering in the way that I knew she would answer, but my mom would answer completely different.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, shut the fuck up. Because if you go up there
You're
and you
gonna
don't
fuck
say
everything
what
up.
you're supposed to say, you're going to fuck it all
Yeah.
up. But I think once he realized that my mom was not
Not in the headspace for
because
it.
they asked about what's it called, like if he had any witnesses, and he's like, I do, but I don't want to bring anybody up. And I think in his head, because that day Freddie didn't go with us. Freddie was supposed to fill an affidavit in case they called either one of us three, because Freddie's her son, my mom's her mom, and I was the one that was like behind it all.
Yeah.
And Freddie didn't go, and I think that's who they wanted to bring up, Alfredo, but since he didn't have an affidavit filled out, they couldn't bring him up.
Oh, he didn't go to the court.
He did.
Oh,
He didn't
but
go
just
to
had
the- to go-
Yeah.
He didn't go fill out the affidavit before. So I'm assuming you can't go up unless you have an affidavit. Because he wanted to get Freddie in that next day, but her attorney was going out of town that day. Because he had to fly for another court or something like that. So Freddie couldn't go in. And that was the deadline. The day after that Friday. For us to get everything submitted to the court. So... And I'm like, in my head, I was like mentally going prepared in case I was going to go up there. But I'm like, if you guys bring my mom up there, I will be like, no. She's the moment that's how you know she was nervous, because we were in the waiting room and we were talking, like mind you, we were like whispering. She's like, I was like, we're all talking.
You're not allowed to talk.
Yeah, and
It's like I
literally,
can't think straight.
and literally we were all just sitting there. We still had like half an hour to wait to go to take him back. And because her pastor went, her church pastor went all the way out
My
there.
mom's not mine.
My mom's church
I'm like, my
pastor,
mom's not mine.
he went all the way out there for my mom for Rosa's court. They drove that morning, and he would talk to her, and she was like ignoring him. I was like, this is how you know, like she does not want.
Right
to
now, she's like, I ain't Christian right now.
Yeah, and literally, like we were conversating, me and Rachel and Bella, and she's like, "Te dije que te callas." I was like, Bertha, I'm like, I cannot shut the fuck up. Like, I need to like get this out of my system. And she was just like, "Te dije que te calles." I was like, well, dile a los demás que se callen. Why are you just telling me?
You're her daughter.
Yeah, but I'm like, the rest are right there. The rest of her kids are right there telling them to shut the fuck up too, because
Yeah.
everybody else was talking. But I think we were just so nervous, and like I said,
It was like the adrenaline. I think, of like
we were going in with she called us the night before to let us know her attorney had gone to see her, but we didn't know what we were going into, like what questions were going to be asked, like what was going to happen. I thought in my head, because obviously when you watch movies, it's not your attorney, it's the
prosecutor.
the prosecutor who's asking you the question. Her prosecutor asked her one question, and that was it.
Yeah.
Her attorney was the one that was like interpreting, like
More so because he wanted my story.
Yeah.
He wanted the judge and the prosecutor to
understand.
understand,
Yeah.
you know, how my charges had came about and what I had done, and you know, to stay out of trouble and you know everything. And he's like, so we're just gonna focus on that. We're gonna focus on, you know, telling your story. He's like, if I have to use your son to kind of corroborate your story, I will. But
He didn't want to have to.
Yeah.
Mind you, I didn't know they were gonna bring Freddie up. When we walked into the waiting room, he's like, "Where's the son?" And I was like, "Right there." He's like, "You stole a car at 15?" And I was like, and literally everybody was like, I was like, I didn't know he was gonna bring that up.
Oh yeah, because
but it shows that she has a charge.
I have that was the only other charge that I had in my record after getting the drug possession charges. It was aiding in the delinquency of a minor.
Delinquency of a minor. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yes, because my son apparently
Wanted to go on Jordan.
he took my car, went to go pick up his homies. Mind you, we
where
lived in
is-
West Point. At that point we lived in West Point, and we used to live in East Layton. So he drove my car from West Point all the way to East Layton to pick up his friends to go to a football game. And
Freddie probably doesn't even watch football. If you ask him what teams play, he
No.
wouldn't even know.
no, he was just trying to hang out with his friends.
Yeah.
I guess a cop got behind him, tried to pull him over, and he fucking listened to his friends saying, "Oh no, don't stop."
Does that story remind you of something? Of our his favorite ex uncle.
Oh.
That's probably who he got it from.
Yep. Yeah, so he basically took the cops in a high-speed chase through our old neighborhood
Oh my God.
and tried to ditch my car and walk, you know, but the cops were looking for them. Of course, they found poor little black kids walking around.
For little nopalitos.
No, they were black.
He was the only Mexican.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I got a call. I went to go pick him up. I was like, fucking kid. So the cop, you know, was like, he basically had just given my son the ticket. Then this motherfucker came back and to my house just to give me the ticket for the aiding of the.
So you both got a ticket.
Yes, I got a ticket. I had to do parenting classes.
Oh.
Yeah, because of this fucking kid. So basically, that was the only other thing that was in my record, and
Like traffic tickets.
and so
But they say like traffic violations.
No,
don't
they-
really
it doesn't,
matter, right?
no.
Yeah.
yeah, so kind of had to tell the story about my son.
Yeah. So
Wow.
he was asked. I'm like, Dad, you guys really have to put Freddie on the spot.
Was he nervous when they did that?
He didn't. I'm telling you, he didn't know.
Nobody
He got
did.
caught off guard. And then they repeated it again inside the courtroom, and I was like, everybody was right in the front. Like me and him were sitting next to each other, and he brought it up, and I was like, "Damn, you really ate shit. Like you really ate shit."
Damn.
I'm like, all because of you. I'm like, if something would have happened, I would have blamed you. It's your fault.
He would have went home and cried. Like it was like.
No, well he did that, and then that was like what?
Freddie didn't give a fuck.
It's like
Freddie never learned.
No, that was like September, somewhere around there. And then for fucking Christmas Day, he ended up taking my car again. Literally to the fucking 7-Eleven, down the fucking street. But this little motherfucker couldn't clear the snow off of the windshield, the back windshield.
So they pulled him over.
Well, the cops used to always stay at 7-Eleven.
Mind you, he could have walked to the gas station. It was around the corner. Maybe a 5-minute walk to the gas station. But he decided to take the car.
Yes. Decided to take a car. And till this day, every time I get a call from him, and I'm like, oh,
what did you do?
Hello.
What?
I don't even want to answer. Because every time he would call me like,
PTSD
Mom,
from your son.
so what happened was, fuck, what you do now?
Oh my
What
gosh.
stupidity did you know? No, but yeah, so tell us about like how like court experience, like it was.
It was nerve-wracking. First of all, they hold courts for ICE at 8:00 on Mondays. Mine wasn't until 1:00. So I seen everybody come back from court, and I wasn't being called. So I'm like, are they not gonna take me?
Yeah, you have to go back.
Mind you, we thought we were gonna see her until we got there. Is when he told us, he's like, they don't bring him here anymore. We just do it. It's gonna be a video call, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought she was gonna be like. I thought you were gonna like. Obviously, like how it is in court, like they take you even if you're in jail, they take you to the court.
So the only ones in person were like you and the judge.
It was the judge, her attorney, the prosecutor, us, and then she was on camera on a big screen. And then they would turn the camera para que ella viera.
Yeah.
Like her attorney or the prosecutor.
Yeah. So I didn't get called, and I called the officer. I was like, "Hey, I was supposed to have immigration court today, but are you guys not gonna call me?"
What's happening?
Yeah, like what's going on? And he's like, "Let me check." He's like, "Yeah, I don't have you on the schedule." I'm like, what the fuck?
Was it because you had a lawyer though?
No, it was because they give him a list in the morning of the people that are gonna go to court. That are going to court. Apparently, I was on the list. I wasn't on the list for the morning. And then I was like, fuck, like what's going on? Am I not going forward? Like I was super nervous. And then all of a sudden I see when the ICE agents come back, and the officer see me at the door, and he's like, oh yeah, Lopez is for you. And I was like, yeah, I knew I was going to court. I'm like, but I didn't know if they were gonna come get me or not.
You didn't know what was happening in
yeah, I didn't know. So I told the ICE agent, I was like, I didn't think you guys were coming. She's like, I was coming. I just had to wait for the room that they use.
And doesn't it piss you off? Like they're so calm and you're like, oh, nerve-wracking.
You're like,
What's going on?
I had to wait. Well, they had to wait for the room that they use for the court, for the immigration court to clear out, because I was having my court by myself.
Oh.
And I think that's what we were waiting for, because he kept going into the courtroom, like where we were all going, and todavía no llegaba the district attorney, and then the they thought she didn't speak English, so they needed a translator, and they were waiting for them to get there, and he just kept coming in and out. He's like, nobody's in here yet. We just gotta keep waiting, and we're like, well, we gotta wait. What's we gonna do?
I know. I kept texting her. I was like, do you guys know anything yet?
And then no, but I kid you not. As soon as we got there, they're like the officer, because when we walked in. That time I hadn't met her attorney. I didn't know who he was. I had met his assistant, but I hadn't met the attorney. And so when I got there, my mom obviously knew who he was. And the police officer, he's like, so who's here for court? We're like, my sister? But he's like, so who's the sister? I was like, she should be in there. And then that's when he told us that she wasn't like gonna come. He's like, all of you guys are here for her? I was like, yeah, we're all here. Like, none of us have court. And he's like, oh, okay. Kid you, it was probably like 15 of us. Like, it was a lot of us. And so yeah, but as soon as we got there, he's like, everybody needs to turn their phone off. He's like, this judge is really picky when it comes down to phones. He's like, not even silent. Turn it off. Like, turn it the fuck off. So as soon as we got there, like, we all turned off our phones.
Yeah.
So I didn't respond back to anybody. Like, people were texting me, but I'm like, I can't text you guys back. My phone was dead.
And I understood it, but I was like, she'll see my message.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, and we walked back into the the courtroom, and she said again, turn off your phones, and we're like,
It's already off.
I'm like, my phone's out. The moment you guys told me I turned.
Doña.
Yes. And I thought she would have been like rude because she didn't look like she was the nicest person.
No, but she is.
She was really nice.
Oh.
Oh, the only question it was.
What did they ask you? Yeah. What was the question they asked you?
If I had relapsed in the last 10 years, because obviously I had put myself through outpatient drug rehab.
Yeah.
And so they were asking if I had ever relapsed in those 9 years. So I did tell her that, yeah, at the beginning, when I first initially started the program. And that was basically it. That was all she wanted to know.
Literally, that's all. I kept seeing her, like, I kid you know, her attorney was asking her questions, and I was just watching the prosecutor, because she was just writing shit down. Like, she was flipping, like, writing shit down, and then when she flipped back and she asked her, and then she's like, I have no other questions, Your Honor. We're like, the state of whatever, we have no, like, we're not against, like, her, like, we're not opposed of her charge, like, her situation. And that was literally all she answered. I'm telling you, it was literally like a 20-minute court.
And then like after that, they just told you you're good. You're getting
Yeah. So yeah,
the judge.
So the judge ruled that they had granted my cancellation of removal petition, and they basically said to give it my attorney and about
getting released.
getting released. And so they asked the prosecutor, like, how long, till I was released. And she's like, okay, we'll get the order submitted. And so anywhere from a couple hours to no later than tomorrow morning. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get released, right? Tonight.
That was like on top of everything that was going on. That was another stressful fucking 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so from there, did they keep you there?
So I had called Laura, like 8 o'clock? Or no, it was about to be 9 o'clock.
Well, as soon as we left, obviously we spoke to her attorney outside. He talked to us. He told us a little bit of like what, because he's like, I don't know. He's like, because obviously where they have her is the detention center. He's like, they're not like funded by, like they're funded by ICE, like, obviously, but it's not an immigration jail, like she said. She's like, so they might not know anything. He's like, I suggest you guys go down there and see if they'll give you guys any information. So obviously we drove down there. My sister got there before us, and when we pulled up, she's like, the officer didn't know. She doesn't know shit. I was like, well, the attorney told us. She's like, he gave me this paper, call it. And so I call it, and they're closed. They close at 2 for court.
The immigration,
the immigration office closed at 2, and so by the time we got there, it was 2:30. So I'm like, well, what the fuck do we do now? And so then I'm like looking like, what time do they release from the Henderson Detention Center? What time do they release? And the release times are like 3 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and 9 p.m., 3 in the morning, and 10 a.m. Oh, and I'm just like, fuck. I'm like, well, the next one is 9 at night. So my sister leaves, and I go in there. I was like, I don't trust this bitch. I'm gonna go ask myself, because I hadn't gotten off at that time. I got off and I asked him. I was like, I know my sister was just here. I just need like a little bit of information. Like, I need to know. I was like, the office is closed. It's 2. He's like, I've never heard of an immigration office ever being closed at 2. I'm like, well, let me call, double check, and it said 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. They close at 2 p.m. So
you don't even want to work 8 to 5.
No. So then he's like, well, here's this pamphlet. You can call later on. He's like, if she just barely got done with court, give it a couple hours. Wait till after 5. And maybe you'll have some information. And I was like, all right, bet. I call 5:10. Kid you not. Call 5:10, and I was like, I just need to know if my sister, like, I give him the name, and the lady's like, she should be released at 9 p.m. I was like, okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know. And she calls at 8 o'clock.
No, it was about to be 9.
Yeah, it was about to be 9. We were waiting for it to be like 9 o'clock so we could drive down there, because obviously we were downtown. I mean, we were on the strip, but she was in Henderson. So it was probably like a 20-minute drive from where we were at. So we were leaving and she calls and I was like, we're like, are you ready? She's like, what? And I'm like, they're releasing you at 9.
I was like, no, they're not, because people that get released at 9, they get called out at 8 o'clock. I was again.
They didn't call you.
They didn't call me, and
so the next one was 3 or 10.
So right before, well, they had already locked us down for the night. So I asked the officer. I was like, hey, I'm supposed to be released. I went to court today, and I'm supposed to be released, but I don't know when or what time. She's like, I didn't have no release order for you, but let me check. And she comes back, she's like, oh, so because you are a ICE detainee, ICE has to come back and get you and release you out of their custody.
Y en eso, ella está haciendo, obviously she's speaking to them, so I call again to the jail. And I'm like, I spoke to somebody earlier, you guys told me she was getting released at 9. And she's like, well, what's her name? And I give her the name. She's like, I don't have a release for her. She's like, she needs to wait for immigration to release her. And I'm like, well, what time? She's like, call at 8 a.m. That's when they open. And she's like, I can't give you any more information. I was like,
and so what time did they release you?
So that was Monday. So basically, ICE picks up the detainees on Tuesday morning. It was 3:30 when they called me out. I was the only one that was being released out. All the other 2 girls were actually going to be deported. So they did all our release paperwork and everything. And then we just had to sit in the holding cell for one of the ICE agents to come back.
So they were just giving you like bullshit times because they didn't know anything.
Yeah, and I think it's because, well, the first lady didn't know what the fuck I think she thought that she was like just in jail, like she wasn't like an ICE detainee. But yeah, so I kid you not, I didn't sleep that whole night because I was like, maybe she's gonna call us at 3 a.m. and I'm like, somebody needs to be awake to answer the phone.
Let me just tell you being gone, her phone's not on D&D anymore.
No, it's not. I was like, no.
I'm like, I don't have to call twice.
Yeah, and because I'm like, Freddie and Jenny, they were out. And I was up till 1 a.m. with my mom. She was gambling. So I'm like, I'm not going to sleep. And 3 a.m. passed, nothing. I call us, and I'm checking like their, like the website. And then out of nowhere at 6 a.m. I check. She's not on the list. She's not on there no more. She's like, there's nothing that she's in jail. Like, no inmate looked up, nothing. I was like, what the fuck? So I call. This is where I should have shut the fuck up and not told my mom anything. I call at 6 a.m. and I was like, I just need to know some information about my sister. I was like, she had court yesterday. We're just waiting for it to be 8 a.m. so I can call the immigration office just so I can find out a release time. And she's like, who is she? And I tell him, she's like, oh, she got picked up. She's getting deported. I was like, what do you mean she's getting deported? I'm like, I literally at that one, I was like, what if they like fucked up?
Yeah.
And they're deporting her. And I was like, we could get some money out of this. And
like, let me go to the news right now.
Yeah. And so then she's like, yeah, she's getting deported. I was like, no, she shouldn't be getting deported. I'm like, she won her case. She's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta wait till 8 a.m. till the ICE office opens. I was like, that's 2 hours. So then I walked back in and my mom's like, ¿Qué te dijeron? I was like, do I tell her?
How do I tell her this?
Literally, and I was like, no sé, todavía estoy averiguando. It took me a minute to tell her. I was like, I'm still trying to figure it out. So then I tell her, I was like, well, dijeron que la van a deportar. And she's like, no me digas eso.
Aww.
She was like stressing again.
Her heart dropped.
Yeah, she was stressing again. And I'm just like waiting for it to be 8 o'clock because yet nobody can tell me shit. At that point, she's not there anymore, so I don't.
But you
like,
were there, just not in their system.
No, she wasn't at the Henderson anymore.
Oh.
Yeah,
She
no,
was at the
I got picked
immigration.
up by the ICE agents at 6 a.m. and they drove us back to the immigration office in downtown Vegas.
So I think as soon as I had this taken her, it's when I like called, and so she was probably like,
Yeah.
well, obviously she's seen the other 2 were getting deported,
Yeah.
so to her she's probably like, pues ya van todas like to be
Yeah.
deported. So yeah, it hit 8 a.m. and I call and they're like, she's like, she just got here, like she needs to be released. And I was like, all right. I was like, do you know by like when? She's like, just give it a couple hours. I hang up. She calls Freddie. She's like, I'm ready to go. I was like, bitch, I just got off the phone with these people. And so yeah, like she obviously had to wait for us because we were like, we had to pack everything up and leave. But I'm like,
She's like, you guys should have been ready 2 hours ago.
Right?
yeah. And I was like, this was just the most hectic, because it's like, how is it that like you guys cannot communicate with each other?
But
Like,
then it's like, how are you guys supposed to know what their policies are and
Yeah.
like their whole routine of how they do shit?
yeah, it was fucking. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, because they don't say any information. Like they don't tell you if when you're gonna be released. Because there were some people, girls that were getting released on bond too, and I thought that they were just being released out of jail. But no, same thing. Somebody from ICE had to come pick them up, take them back to the ICE office, and release them out of there.
So they weren't just getting released.
They weren't just getting released. Yeah.
It's not like
when
here
I pick
when
up
you.
my brother and then
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I'm outside.
Yeah.
Come pick me up.
No.
But
It's not like they just kick you out at 6 in the morning,
Yeah.
3 in the morning. No, like you have to go through the whole process. But it was crazy because it's like, bruh, the fuck do we do? We're just waiting around.
well, and I feel like they don't communicate that on purpose too.
Yeah,
Like
and they don't because they don't.
like they do it every day, but they don't know how to give you guys an answer.
Exactly. Se hace pendejo nomás.
Yeah, it was.
It was hectic.
Crazy experience. I was
How do
like,
you feel now that you're out?
oh well, I'm happy. I'm
Yeah,
happy.
I know.
She had a sandwich from McDonald's. That was her first meal.
Like the breakfast.
Yeah.
It was not the best experience.
Why?
She can't eat cheese.
Lactose
Oh
intolerant.
my god! You guys had the damn cheese.
No, nada más eso, sino que I hadn't ate anything that day, and as it was, lo que comía
It's not
me
the
hacía
same.
daño.
It's not the same. It's honestly
But
like,
like, how long did you go with eating like a actual meal that your body's used to eating maybe out in the daily, but in there you haven't had that stuff in such a
Yeah.
long time.
I was like, I asked her, I was like, did they not offer like sodas? Like where you could buy them with like your commissary? And she's like,
Estas
Yeah.
Not
Mind
sodita.
you, every time I would come back from
It's like you
Mexico,
can't go to
like
jail.
yeah, like my stomach had to readjust.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, una sodita or something.
Ni sodita ni nada, pura pinche agua del toilet.
I'm like, how was that having to take your first shit in front of somebody? I can't even shit.
I just had to picture them that it was you.
No, eso no. She'd be loving the door open, taking a shit, and having a conversation with me.
She's like, oh, that's my sister right
Yeah,
there.
that's my sister right there.
Did you get along with your selling me?
I had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different cellmates.
So you guys were all.
It was
so
just
was
in
it
and
like
out.
Yeah.
two? Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
like all in like at the same time.
No, it was still 4 different ones. I got moved around. One got deported, and then I got a different one. She was Puerto Rican, and I only had her for like 4 days, and then she ended up getting released. And after that, I got transferred to a different cell, and this lady was from Thailand.
What? That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
they say it's just Hispanics, but there's
Yeah,
so
no.
many immigrants
Yeah.
here.
She was from Thailand too, and she ended up getting released the end of February. So then after that, I got transferred to a different cell, and that's when they put in this girl that had just arrived there, Venezuelan. I would always try to be nice, you know.
Rosa nice.
Rosa nice.
What's Rosa nice? Is it nicer than Laura?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm straightforward. Rosa tries to say it nicely.
Yes. I try to say nicely until they piss me off, and then I'm like, all right, bitch.
Me, I'm just like,
I try to, the nice way, and you
If
obviously.
you don't listen, then
Yes.
She'd be like, and I'm like, bitch, no.
Try to kill him with kindness.
yeah.
Try.
And then you just kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but yeah, she ended up getting into it with her, and then the last week that I was there, she really pissed me off to where I didn't talk to the bitch at all. At all.
You're like you're a ghost in my head.
Oh
You
yes,
don't
I'm
even
like,
exist.
I know how to play this game really good. I know how to ignore bitches.
You should ask my
Very good.
sister.
I ignored this bitch all the time. No, but I actually try to be nice with this girl because I'm like, okay, we're probably gonna be here stuck with each other for a minute. I try to help her out, and yeah, she pushed my buttons. So then I was like, well, fuck you, bitch. Then you're on your own. And the officers would try to come in and talk to her, and she's like, no entiendo inglés. And they were like, I'm like, and I don't speak Spanish.
That sucks.
Sucks
Looks-
to be you.
Sounds like a you problem, not a me.
Write it down. Google Translate it, bitch.
Mhm.
You remember you said you didn't need my help, so
Did they give you guys tablets like they do to
No.
the inmates?
no tablets.
Yeah, because the app that we would have to use, like if you were like want to use an app, and then I would try and they're like, no. Like,
Maybe you're gonna have to fight for the fucking phones.
Really?
Yes, because all these.
They just wanted to be calling up.
Yes, I'm like, how the fuck do you bitches don't have money on your commissary, but you guys have money to be calling morning, afternoon, and night? Be on the fucking phone all day, every day.
Do they not have a limit then on how long we can be on the phone?
It's 20 minutes a call.
Oh, but they just hang up and then they call
Mhm.
back.
Yep. But it's like, damn, all day?
Yeah.
Same bitches. Yeah.
do you want to say you're like, obviously, I don't know, maybe because you didn't see it, but obviously you heard it about like the lady in the cell that had like hunger so.
Oh yeah. There was a lady, I guess she was a black lady. We never knew how old she was or why. But I guess she committed suicide. And not where we were in the pod, where we were in the other pod, where they were kind of housing the I don't know if it was a crazy pod yet, but it was the ones that they were basically locked up 24/7. And because that had happened there, we ended up getting locked up the whole freaking day.
So was it like not punishment?
No,
just
not
like-
punishment. They were just trying to, get that situation under control. And
They probably didn't want you guys seeing it, huh?
and I mean, more times than not, we were always locked up for one thing or another.
Literally, I swear she.
Yes.
I remember when you first got there, you had said there was a couple, like two lesbians, that's why they had you guys locked up because se estaban peleando entre ellas dos.
Yeah.
And you guys got in trouble for it?
No, it basically because they had a no contact order.
Oh, but they
With
had
each
them in
other.
the same pod?
How
And
did
that's
they
their
have
fault.
been there? Yeah.
I don't fucking
At
know.
that point, that's their fault. Like,
Right.
That boy locked them up.
Yeah, yeah. So anytime that somebody would fight, we would get locked up, and we would end up getting locked up for the rest of the day sometimes.
And you were only allowed to be out how long?
So we were allowed to be out 3 times a day, for 2 hours at a time.
It was 8 to 10.
8:30 to 10:30, 2:30 to 4:30,
And then
8 to 10.
Oh.
But then there was times when we wouldn't be let out in the morning, we wouldn't be let out in the afternoon, and if we were lucky, they would let us out at night. And also, just depends on the officer. It was either they would let us out all together for the 2 hours or split tier, an hour for the top and an hour for the bottom.
It wasn't like the full 2 hours.
No.
Y en ese tiempo you tenías que
Yeah.
bañarte.
You had to go take a shower, take your medicine, use the phone, whatever you had to do, you only had an hour.
You were just like in a hurry trying to get everything done.
That's why I wouldn't call him every day. I would call him maybe every other day.
Call them in? No. Call Kill Army.
Well, yeah, of
Call
course.
KK.
Yeah, she don't care about you guys.
No,
She wanted her
No. And I'm like, bitch, and when the time I need to talk to you, you don't fucking call me.
But yeah, And then the time that I wanted to actually have a video visit with my son because it was his birthday, she called. Well, she set it up, and I went down. Where's my son? They're over here talking to me
Her son obviously didn't care. He went downstairs.
because he was sad and have his mommy.
We left his 24th birthday sign up till you got back.
Literally, I took it off this morning.
Hey, at least I did something for your son. I cooked him dinner. I bought him, Michael bought him a cake. His birthday didn't go unnoticed. I could have been like, you're not my kid. But no, I did what I could. Made it as best as I could.
It just wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same.
It's probably like you're not even in, like he was probably grateful, but he was probably like, oh, like
I can't
where's my
remember what
mom?
it was. I would, I had said something about Kehlani. Something about like her mom, and he's like, I didn't have my mom. Why did she? I was like, Freddie, she's a baby. How are you gonna compare yourself to your freaking baby? She needs her.
I was like, she needs to toughen up.
I was like, she needs her mom, and he's like, so do I. I was like, you're a grown ass man. Your balls already dropped, bro. Like, I get it, you need your mom, but she's a baby. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Oh my god.
He's probably like, Kehlani, you don't trust no one right now.
Yeah. So we do have a question from some of our special friends.
Oh my god.
Her dumbass questions every time.
I don't know.
We can't even do a truth or drink or a drink or answer.
This one's for you guys. I'm just kidding. No, I told Miguel, I was like, we'll bring her and you on.
Oh, that would be a funny
Miguel and Rosa to answer those.
Down.
She's like,
Yeah,
no thanks.
what?
She's like, one and only.
One and only. No, because you guys be asking
I know, and
some ratchet questions.
she likes to put people on the spot.
Yes.
Did you watch some episode of Miguel?
No, not yet.
So she was putting Miguel on the spot, but then Miguel was putting me on the
But
spot.
the thing is
But
that
then when the bitch gets put on the spot,
No,
she
but
don't know
the
how
thing
to
is,
handle
she's like,
herself.
I'm gonna take a drink.
the
And then she took a drink.
cards that I had wrote for Miguel, it was to either ask me or her, and he's like, Samantha. I'm like,
Sam. He's like, oh well, but I already said your name. I was like, no, pues wow.
and I'm like, he knows because he knows she's like le da vergüenza or whatever, and so he likes to put her on the spot.
Yeah, he does.
And everybody knows Laura's a no fucks giver.
Laura's just an open book. She's just gonna say whatever it is
Yeah, until we ask you a question, you're like, I just got a drink.
Yeah.
because this is stupid.
Oh, but when you ask
But
that,
the thing is, you could drink too. You don't though.
yeah, but I don't care to answer. I'm just like, oh, great.
Great. I already want to get. I need people. Somebody already wants to sue me because I'd be using their name. So I'm like, last time I checked, I didn't use your full government name, so you can't sue me.
I can.
No, because
just
I don't
leave them out.
use that name. I use my name that I gave the person. Your name's not that. I'm not stupid. I'm like, and I can sue you for emotional distress too. So
Yeah.
we can go for it. So that's why we can't use that person's name anymore.
We didn't mention him until now. Well, we didn't use the name.
Exactly. We can be talking about one of the 30 million.
See, I'm not the only one that be giving people names. So does she. I was in there giving people names. I was like, oh, so and so looks like this. Oh, well, let's
We
call
started
her
having
this.
to give people names because our kids don't know how to mind their business.
Yeah, we have names for a few people.
Yeah, we do. Well, yeah, thank you, Rosabella, for
Thanks for having me.
coming on here. And obviously, I know a lot of people, when I posted like you being out, a lot of them wanted you to be on here because a lot of them do have like parents, husbands, wives who have green cards and are obviously scared to travel out of the country.
Yeah, so that do be careful. If you have a green card and if you have prior charges, doesn't matter if they've been 5, 10, 20 years, they will still get you.
Well, even if you have a green card, they'll still take you and not bring you
Yeah,
back.
Exactly. They'll still take you and not bring you back and then say,
Which
oh,
is-
it's a clerical error.
I know.
Yeah, so
So yeah, if you guys have a way to become citizens, do it.
yes.
Well,
Obviously,
thank
it's
you
not
for coming.
cheap, but
I feel like this episode was so different from our last. Like it was very serious. We can be very
we can be serious. We like to be chismosas, but we also like to be informative and give you guys information about a lot of things.
Laura was crashing out, trying not to ask dumb questions, but she made it through.
I'll bring it on. We'll put her on the spot again.
Yeah, no, because no.
I already
know you guys want to ask. No.
Well, yeah, she heard our conversation in the car.
Yeah.
That's half of our conversation.
That's my past.
Me too. Mine was like a year ago. Stupid. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up here. We really hope you guys enjoy this week's episode. And so yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mexicano hasta el tope.
Como decía mi abuelito cuando andaba pedo, ¡Viva México, cabrones!